What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the car again. Went to the cruise in last night and it was a little bit bouncy. Put a brand new coilover system on this car. And it is very low. The fronts, I think, dropped 2 inches from what was already low, and the rear dropped another 1.5 inches from what it was before. I was trying to get that rake, a little less of an angle. What had happened was I lost suspension travel with the coilovers, so when I adjusted it down, there's less shock piston moving up and down. So we're going to try to raise this thing up, give it a little bit more shock travel, firm up on the shocks a little bit, and see what happens. Before we get started, Viking Performance for the dual adjustable shocks gives you a little shock tuning card with some recommendations. So I started kind of right in the middle here, a little on the heavy side of handling. I'm at 10-14 on the front and 8-12 on the rear. So we're going to bump that up while we're in here and go probably these high-end numbers here for autocross, or maybe split the difference. Another thing to note is ride height. Before we start adjusting this, we're going to see where we're at so we know how much we moved. So we're going to go right here in the center of the axle best we can. Come up to the body line. This is what I've been using for my measurements so far. And I'm at 24 3/8. This was, I think, 26 1/4 before I started. So this has a significant drop in the rear already. So we can bring that spring up on the adjuster on the spring up, and that'll open the shock up and give us a little more travel. Here at the fronts, we're at 23.5, which we were, I want to say 24 3/4 or so when we first started. So that's come down almost an inch or so. There's no rubbing or anything or any contact. So, I mean, there's lots of clearance in here, but we just got to take care of that shock travel a little bit. All right, first step we got to do, disconnect your sway bars. There's 4 bolts back there for mine. This bolts to the trailing arms. Drop that down. Took these mounts from the frame off and just kind of set this down. That's on Heims up there, but they kind of wobble, so you're not putting any preload. So now that we have this disconnected, both the sway bars, we can make our measurements and we can do adjustments. So we can start on one corner, take our measurements, adjust, match the other corner to it, and work on around the car. So I'm going to start up here in the front, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room in there to get my wrench. My adjustment is right there. So best way that I've found to do this, it's kind of weird, but you have to unload the suspension so you can, take the load off the springs so that you can adjust it. I mean, you can try to do it with it loaded, but it's going to be really hard. Make sure you got the Man Glitter Anti-Seize applied liberally on the threads. And the easiest way I found is I'm just going to take the tire off, and I can sit kind of Indian style around the rotor here and just adjust on this until I get it where I want. So let's do that. I was told by a couple of my car friends that my buddies loves doing this. Buddy at Ogre Speed Shop loves adjusting these. So if you guys ever get coilovers and you're in Oklahoma, go ahead and stop on by Ogre Speed Shop because I hear he loves these.
Okay, we were at 23.5. See where we're at now that we adjusted it. We're right about 24 3/4. So we came up 1.25 inches. That should give us plenty of travel up and down. I also stiffened the shocks to the highest level on autocross rating on the card, 14-18 up front. So that should make a pretty good change. Now we'll go to the back and we'll get that done. Okay, in the back we're at 24 3/8. Extended the shocks out a little bit. Now we're sitting at 25 1/4 on either side. It's almost an inch. Didn't affect the rake too much. There's a lot more shock travel. So also adjusted the rebound and compression to the stiffest setting that it was, which I think was whatever the card said. So that's what we did. And now we're going to take it for a test drive and see what it does. There you have it. That was a pretty quick and easy mod. Got the ride height set, got the shocks tuned. I will say, read the instructions. All your presettings are right here for whatever you want to handle. Comfort, handling, autocross, and if you're running stiffer springs, it tells you how to adjust for that too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.